This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social, and I'm delighted to be joined by trainer Dave Coldwell. Dave, how you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, how's you?
I'm all good, thanks. Great to hear you doing well. Obviously, we just come down and we just saw Jordan Gill's workout ahead of his bout with Emmanuel Dominguez on Saturday night. How did he look to you in the ring then?
It's just a little, at this stage, public workouts, it's just a little bit, a bit of something for the fans, that's all it is. There's nothing, there's nothing to read in public workouts, really. All the hard work's been done. We finished punching day before yesterday. So it's just a little bit of fun for him and a little bit of experience for him because he's not used to this. This is his first public workout where he's the main man and where it's about him really.
I spoke to you before and you mentioned that it's something with Jordan, why his career has taken a bit longer as well. He's got to adjust to these new things that he's going to experience, such as headlining a show and that. So far, what have you made of his judgmental side in terms of being able to work with the new experiences?
I'm just trying to get him to take it all in his stride. Take one day at a time, one fight at a time, and just soak it all up. You've got to enjoy it. You've got to allow him to enjoy it on the way, because otherwise, you get to the end of your career and you look back at your career and think, oh yeah. You don't realise how much you've accomplished. Things like this, although they might not seem like great things in the grand scheme of things in a boxing career. You're doing public workouts in front of strangers that might not be turning up to a fight, maybe have seen a boxing match before, or see a ring in the middle of the shopping centre and some geezer hitting some pads. It's just different eyes on you, and you know what it is? It's out of your environment. You're either boxing in a boxing gym, or in an arena or a leisure centre or whatever in a venue. Listen, you're doing it at a shopping centre. It's a little bit weird. The surroundings are weird, and it's just part of the experience. But everything that is developing as we're going along, the stepping up in fights, more eyes on you, interviews with guys like yourselves, more cameras on him. It's all part of growing as a fighter, and it's all things that he has to adapt to, and he has to not let affect him, not let him get tense, and not let him to just lose his focus.
You've just mentioned he needs to adjust to all of these things. One thing that I would say is he was very impressive last time out when he won the Commonwealth title. How has he reflected on his performance, and how have you reflected on that performance?
Building straight on it. That's it. That fight's done and it's gone. I was over the moon with him. I was over the moon with his performance, and he was over the moon with himself. But you can't look back and just think, oh yeah, I was great, and that's it. Right from the start, he's been back in the gym, learning, developing, becoming a better fighter, adding things to his game, and that fight's done and it was gone. That was it. It was just a case of just building on it now, and you've set a benchmark. Now you have to go past it.
So talk to me about Dominguez and the decision to fight him and vacate the Commonwealth title.
It's top 15 world ranking, and it gives him an avenue to fight in some good international fights, fringe world class level at this stage of his career, and then breaking into your world class next year and beyond. So it's a good title for him to have. It's a good title for him to aim for and go for. It's like when I said to him, going into the Commonwealth title fight, don't be too nervous. Don't be too. Don't put pressure on yourself about this fight, because although yes, it's Commonwealth title, it's a great achievement. Is it your end game in boxing? And I was like, no. I was then there's nothing to like. You don't blow it up to be something special, something that's gonna put more pressure on you. Just go out there and take it as another fight. And the same goes for this title as well. It doesn't matter what title they're fighting for. What matters is that they win it, and when they've won it, then they can enjoy the fact that they're fighting for this title. There's no point in being excited about fighting for a Commonwealth title until you've won it. When your hand's raised, then you can be excited about that. There's no point in being excited for fighting for in a fight that's going to get you a top 15 ranking in a WBA international title until you've got it. Because then you've got it, then you can enjoy it. If you go in there and get beat, who cares that you fought for that title? It doesn't matter.
You just mentioned the top 15 ranking. I've seen a few articles and a few quotes that Jordan's put out saying he has those ambitions to fight for a world title at one point. Does that mean for now at least you don't really have your eyes set on challenging for a British title?
It's not about that. We're making our own path. We don't know what Ryan Walsh wants to do. Ryan Walsh has been around, he's defended his title numerous times, he's been around for a long time domestically, and we're decent people. We understand that they want to look at something above. You know, he wants European, he wants world, he wants to test himself at world level before he retires. You know, for him to be fighting a young kid on the way up in Jordan, a talented, dangerous young kid on the way up, it's about, does he have to really take that fight? So I understand that they're looking at other options and they'd rather have a bigger fight. You know, his brother shouted that to us in when he was in the ring, as soon as he won his last fight. You know, he deserves a crack at something bigger, and he does. You know, when you look at it, a lot of fighters, you know, it's about the path you take. We're building our own path, and if they collide, they collide. That's how it is. But we're building his own path, and for now, I'm just focused on what Jordan's doing.
So talking about Dominguez and what type of fighter he is and what you're expecting him to bring on Saturday night.
He's a tough, rangy, tall Mexican, and you know, Mexicans and especially in the lightweights are known for bringing a hard night's work. So we're expecting a hard night's work. Jordan's got to stay composed, use his boxing ability, and look at chipping away and breaking him down. You know, I'm not looking at this as, oh, we're going to stop him. It's just about the win. It's just about winning, because it's another level of experience for Jordan. The whole thing's it's something new to him. You know, he's topping his own bill. It's his own show. He's personally done like 900 odd tickets. So it's a case. It's everything new for him. He's got to be able to deal with that. It's like I said to him with the Commonwealth title fight. If he handles the night, the occasion, the spectacle, the change in career mode, so to speak, then I'd no worries about him whatsoever. And it's the same thing with this on Saturday. If he handles all this well, then you'll see another great performance.
Just what I was going to mention, man, you know, obviously Jordan headlining, fighting for a big title now, and a chance to get this world ranking. Does he maybe feel an extra added amount of pressure to stop Dominguez because of a performance against Doyle?
No, there's not. Listen, he's fighting a tough Mexican. The only guy that stopped this Mexican is the fellow that just stopped Dogba, and he can fight and he can punch, and he's been with some good fighters. Tucker Khan Cleary, he only beat him on points. So his experience is a good fighter. We're not looking at a stoppage. We're looking to win the fight. If the stoppage comes, great. And if he can, if he can do what I would like him to do in this fight, then I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be shocked if he stops him late. But it's all about his boxing skills and his boxing ability. This kid's got unbelievable potential and talent. He's a boxer. You know, he's not a war merchant. He's not a one-punch knockout merchant. He hits hard enough to knock you out, and he hits hard enough to hurt you. But it's his boxing ability that brings that out in him.
Now, the other big news that came out a couple of weeks ago now was you linked up with Derek Chisora. Just talking about how that came about. Obviously, I know Tony and Derek are very close. Well, they've got on very well throughout his career. Just talking about how you two merged together.
It came from a phone call from David Hay. I was sat at home watching TV with my wife and my kids, and then my phone went and looked at it. It said David Hay. And I remember just saying, hey, it's David Hay ringing me for. So I've gone into the kitchen. And he's had a quick 2-minute chat. Oh, what's happening? This, blah, blah. And then he says, I'd really like you to work with Derek Chisora. I was like, okay, I wasn't expecting that one. So when everybody else was shocked, yeah, I was shocked as well.
What is Derek's ambition? You know, does he have this always on a world title fight?
Like, listen, let's just look at it at one fight at a time. He has to win his next fight, as simple as that. And his ambition for his next fight is to go out there, look good, and win it. But he wants the big fights. He wants the big fights. You know, we wanted Parker. Parker was all done and dusted, and that just fell out of bed. So now we're just looking for somebody else, and you know, that's something we're in a process of doing right now.
That was something I was going to ask you about. Obviously, Joseph Parker seemed to be the likely fight next, and that hasn't happened. What were the reasons behind that?
You know what? I seen an interview with David Wiggins, and I was a bit confused by that myself, because the fight was agreed. They knew what date it was going to be when there was like 11, 12 weeks, something like that. I've been training him now. This now is coming towards the end of our 3rd week training. He's talking about as though we've been locked away preparing for a long time. This is our 3rd week training. He's known about the fight, and that day everything was agreed and everything. And then all of a sudden they've turned around and said they've not got enough time to prepare. I don't know what else has happened there. That's David Hay and David Wiggins need to sort out, and Eddie Hearn. That's nothing to do with me. I'm just training Derek, and that's all I'm bothered about. Whatever the business side of things, they'll take care of.
Rumours circulating that Joseph's going to be one of the potential opponents for Tyson Fury next.
That might be something in part of the reason why this fight's not happening all of a sudden. That might be because they might have heard wind, before when rumours start happening, where people start linking fighters and stuff, where there's strong rumours, then really it's been going on behind the scenes a little while. So maybe that makes sense, where Parker's got wind that Fury and Wilder wasn't going to happen. Parker's been approached, would you be interested in a potential opponent for one of them, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's probably why it's not happening.
How would you see Parker Fury if it did happen? How would you see it going?
No disrespect to Hughie Fury, but Hughie Fury kind of handled Parker, kind of got robbed. I rate Tyson as a better fighter than Hughie. Hughie's a good prospect, but he's a prospect. Tyson's more a complete package. So I think Tyson Fury against Joseph Parker would be a very frustrating night for Joseph Parker.
Obviously, I think it was yesterday, in fact, the WBC came out and confirmed that Wilder Fury won't happen next. Tyson wants a warm-up fight before facing Wilder. What are your thoughts on the entire situation?
Oh, do you know what? It's just a lot of bollocks, all this heavyweight division at the top end. Now it's all fights. We're offering this fight, we're offering that fight. For us on the outside that don't know the ins and outs, we can only speculate, and we can only look at it as it is. It doesn't look great in the fact that, and I'll get slated for kissing AJ's arse and Eddie's arse, but apparently there's been negotiations between Eddie and Wilder's team, Eddie and Fury's team originally, and for whatever reason the fight's not happened. Money or whatever, the fight's not happened. So then when they've gone and made their fight together, the rematch, which I expected to happen anyway after the first Fury and Wilder fight, they've gone and made that big song and dance out. They don't need AJ, they're bringing real money, this, blah, blah. Now they're not fighting each other. If it's about money, if they turn down the AJ fight because of the money end, what in comparison are they going to be getting to what they would have got against AJ for a fight against a Parker or or if Wilder fights Dominic Brazil? It just doesn't look great, because you can understand they don't want to fight AJ. They don't need to fight AJ because they're fighting each other in a massive rematch. Fair enough. But when they're not fighting each other, then it's not as big a fight. There's what AJ and Eddie have got slated for fighting Gerald Miller, but whoever Wilder fights next, and if it is Brazil, that's a joke. How is that a better fight than AJ and Miller? And Fury against Parker, how is that a better fight? They're all kind of like around the same, really, apart from Brazil. I'm not being funny. Wilder should be fighting, if he's not fighting Tyson Fury next, and if he's not fighting AJ next, he should be fighting Dillian Whyte. He should be fighting Dillian Whyte. There's no, WBC should come out and say that. It's no good putting out a tweet saying the rematch is not happening, blah, blah, blah. Tyson Fury wants to take an interim fight. All right, then, make Dillian Whyte, Dominic Brazil, bless him. He got battered off for AJ. He's gone away. He's not looked $1 million since. He's had a couple of decent wins, but he's not had no win that's any better than what Dillian Whyte's done. I just think if he's not fighting him two, then WBC, if they've got any sense, if they understand boxing, then they should give Dillian Whyte the shot.
I've just got a couple more questions before I let you go. Yesterday, I don't know whether you saw it, or it might have been a couple of days ago, in fact, over social media, Eddie Hearn and Stephen Espinoza. Yeah. What did you make of all of that there, back and forwards?
I thought it was brilliant. Good. It's all interesting for us, isn't it? It gets people talking about it. It doesn't matter.
Who are you more inclined to believe? Like, what if you're a fan and you used to look at it?
Right, okay, so it's hard to. This is where it's hard to explain, because people, if you're a friend of somebody or you know somebody, you've dealt with somebody. Every time I've dealt with Eddie Hearn, it's been straight down the line. It's been honest. Whatever he's said to me is delivered. Whatever deal we've made or in pipeline or whatever is delivered. Everything. So my only experience with Eddie Hearn is good, and is giving opportunities from fighters, is doing the things that he said. So when it comes up against something that I don't know, then and everybody's going to be like people that think I'm kissing arse. Surely you're the same. If your friend tells you a story, and a complete stranger tells you a counterbalancing story, are you not going to believe your mate, or are you not going to believe the person that you've dealt with, the person that you for quite a number of years has always done what he said and has always pulled off deals? And when you look around at the fighters that you work with, he's kind of always pulled off the deals and he's always guided them the right way. So I'm only doing what I know, and which is, if Eddie's told me that, and if I'm seeing that, then I can't say he's right. I'm not going to say he's 100% truth. But what I'm saying is, if you're asking me which one would I believe, because I don't know the facts. We don't know the facts unless we see the actual communications themselves, and the emails, the contracts, and all this bullshit. Unless you see all that lot, not just snippet, you have to see it in a chain of events. Because anything can manipulate it if you just see a little bit. So unless you see everything right, you don't know. So I don't know. Eddie could be full of shit, and he's been known to be full of shit. So that could be a truth, and Espinoza could be right. But vice versa, it could be the way. So all I'm going to say is I know the geezer, and he's always done right for me or my fighters. So I'm kind of like on his side on this one.
Stephen Espinoza did leak that little bit of the contract.
Yeah, but again, if you, I could get a contract for you on something that looks a certain way, and it's completely the opposite. And it's you don't see the chain of it. You don't see a full contract.
But that was what I was going to ask. So let's say, what would be your thoughts if either Eddie or Stephen or somebody else who has the emails and contract? What are your thoughts maybe morally, or if there's anything wrong with leaking it just to settle it all for everyone?
But do you see if Virgin are taking over HMV, and there's all arguments about money and this, do any of them businesses disclose the documents, private documents and business documents, to the general public? People, we buy our CDs from Virgin, we buy them from HMV. No. But in boxing, everybody seems to, a fan now seems to think that we should demand the rights to be able to see the contracts and stuff like that. Just let the fights happen, or they don't happen, follow another fight. If you don't, if you don't, it's business. It's same with football. With football clubs, we don't see the transfer clauses and contracts of footballers. Do you know what I mean? But yet with boxing, it's like you say, should they just put it out and so we clear it up? Well, it'd be nice. Then we'd be able to see it. But then there's a lot of stuff there. Why you can look at it as, if you're working in a normal 9-to-5 job and you ask somebody what their salary is, people think, that's a bit rude. But yet everyone wants to know exactly what a fighter's earning to the rounded digit. Do you know what I mean? There's arguments for and against. I'm just saying, you've got to look at all sides of the argument, really.
How much are you earning, Dave?
None of your goddamn business.
And my final question was...
More than what I was earning 20 years ago.
That's a positive. But what I was going to just end on was, last week again, we saw Tyson Fury link up with ESPN Plus and Top Rank. Obviously, Deontay Wilder with Showtime and PBC, AJ, DAZN, Matchroom, Sky Sports. Yeah. Are the politics on boxing effectively going to rule out the possibilities of either of those three fighting again? Quite possibly.
It's unless the TV networks have got a good relationship, I think that is something that's going to... And there's a lot of bitterness around in that. So it could... But I'll say it again, it's bollocks. Because we want to see the fights. So whatever way it happens, they should... I remember Showtime and HBO did a co-promotion. It's been done before. So surely they can work it out. If it's been done once, it can be done again. So TV networks shouldn't get in the way of the biggest fights happening. They should work out some sort of way. Maybe let them... I don't know, because I don't know how you do this, but maybe say both of them if they put the fight and they put it on as a co-promotion, if it's a pay-per-view, then one company does one pay-per-view to their subscribers or whatever, and whoever earns the amount of money, that's their money. I don't know. I'm probably talking shit, but there's got to be a way around it, because if Showtime and HBO did it when that was a war, then surely these guys can do it.
Well, Dave Coldwell, I appreciate your time. I know your team's waiting to shoot off now, so thanks for being to Boxing Social once again.
Nice one, mate. Thanks for me.